This next adventure story ain't as dramatic, but it's more terrifying for me personally. This happened about 2 years after the road. Now, like I said before, and I have to say again, a day doesn't go by that I don't think about this beyond shit, especially the monster. Only I witnessed it, and only I know that it was real. Other people might believe me, but you really would have to see it to fully believe me. I fucking saw it, and I'll never ever forget it. Please don't think I'm crazy by telling you this shit. The chances are, lots of people have probably seen something like this during their lifetime, but only I am stupid enough to run around telling people about it. Anyway, here it goes. The monster. There was this big hill about 3 blocks away from my mom's house in Ferndale. Everybody sledded down it in the wintertime. It was next to a wooded park behind an elementary school. I was living at my mom's house and I was on a super workout kick because I wanted to try wrestling for real. I was wrestling here and there at the time, so I was constantly trying to stay in shape. I was in this weird phase where I would be comfortable in bed and something in my head would tell me, get out of bed right now and run to the top of that hill, because you never know when your house is gonna catch on fire and you're gonna have to come right out of a dead sleep and save your kids or something. It seemed like it was wearing on me, and when you most got comfortable, you would have to be most prepared to just up and ninja out and boogie all of a sudden. Just like when I was a little kid and that guy my mom was seeing decked my ass when I was sleeping naked. I should have been ready for anything, and now I was preparing myself to be ready for anything. When you least expect it, be ready to jump up and fucking fight. My brother was in the army by this time, so I was thinking he's probably going through some tough shit like this every night. Why shouldn't I? So listening to that voice in my head, getting out of bed and running down a few blocks and up that hill was like my own version of basic training. Night after night, I would just be about to fall asleep, thinking how comfortable I was in my bed, and then bam! Boom! I would have to do it. Some voice in my head would tell me, Joe, if you're the shit, right now you really want to train to be a true warrior, run up that hill. And I would jump up, run out of the house with my dog lady, run down the block, turn the corner, run down that block, and all the way up the fucking hill yelling, Ultimate Warrior! Now here's the quick side note. Believe me, yelling Ultimate Warrior had absolutely nothing to do with the wrestler Ultimate Warrior, even though the wrestler Ultimate Warrior was around at that time, and he was awfully fresh and very energetic. If you follow wrestling, then you know the Ultimate Warrior was definitely the shit. But for me, yelling Ultimate Warrior had nothing to do with the wrestler. It was just something I felt. Think of that term. Ultimate Warrior. It just means power. We loved yelling that. Me and my brother would yell that before he left for the army, and I continued the tradition alone. Ultimate Warrior! I'd get to the top of the hill night after night, spread my arms, and scream as loud as I could, Ultimate Warrior! The craziest part was that it would always be around 3:30 in the morning when I did this. Then I'd turn around, run back home, and go back to bed in peace. It was a weird-ass thing. Maybe it was my own current insanity in its own young age torturing me. One night, my first girlfriend, the first girlfriend I ever had, Karen, was over at my house, and we were watching the Arsenio Hall show. I walked her to her car that night, and it was one of those nights where you look up and see the clouds whipping by super fast. It was a full moon and the clouds were just speeding through the sky. I said goodnight, but for some reason I was worried about something. I could feel it in my stomach. I watched her car drive all the way down the street and turn onto the main road. That was the first time I ever did that. But the whole fucking night seemed eerie, so I felt like I should watch her. Then I went back upstairs and got in my warm, comfortable bed and laid down like, fuck yeah. Then it began. I was arguing with myself again. Man, you've got to do this. You got to run out of the house. You did it every night this week. There's no reason for you not to do it tonight. On this extra cold and scary stale-ass night. You've proven yourself 1,000 times already. Do it tonight. Tonight's the ultimate night. That fucking voice in my head. However, it was like, Joe, if you do it on this night, you don't have to do it for a whole week. You'll have schooled it harder than anybody else you ever knew if you just do it tonight. Do it tonight and you're the best. Boom, that was it. I called my dog Lady and we were out the fucking door. God, I wonder what happened to that part of me now. Now I just lazy fucking bum laying in bed. Nothing will get me out of bed. No kind of motivation will get me out of that fucking bed. Once I'm in it for good. I don't give a fuck if the house burns down around me. I'm staying in that bed. It was about 3:30 a.m. and here I was, running as fast as I could with my dog at my side. I trucked down the block, around the corner, and all the way up that fucking hill. Once again, for the 20th night in a row, I raised my arms apart, turned around and yelled, "Ultimate Warrior!" as loud as I possibly could. This night was on some whole other shit though. Right in the middle of Ultimate War, a giant gust of freezing cold wind blew me back. My eyes instantly filled with water from the coldness. Something, either the wind or the cold, something was holding me back. I was filled with chills just like I am right now telling you this. I had to conquer it. I raised my arms again and yelled, "Ultimate Warrior!" as loud as possible. Then, to super school it, I grabbed my fucking dog, got behind her, and raised her paws up facing the wind and yelled it again. My dog thought I was crazy, but we were yelling, "Ultimate Warrior!" I was scared though. Something was wrong. The wind had slapped me too hard for it to be natural. I ran down the hill and halfway down the block and then I stopped to catch my breath. Winded as fuck. I finally felt safe. Besides my dog and I, there was something else there. I could sense it. I turned around and looked toward the end of the block, through the patch of trees under a streetlight. At first, I thought it was a giant branch falling from the wind or something, but this shape kept moving. It was just walking through the patch of woods, lit up by the streetlight. Then it stopped, as if it noticed me. We stood there, both motionless, looking right at each other, with only one city block between us. It was only a second-long stare down, but it felt like an hour of pure terror on my end. Booyah! Then it took off through the trees right at me. Now listen, y'all, I call it a monster because it wasn't a dog or a person or anything like that. It was a fucking monster. Its legs were straight and it got wide at the bottom where its feet would have been, like it had bell-bottom pants or something. Its arms were long as hell and they hung all the way down to its knees. It wasn't a fresh-ass Hollywood-looking monster or anything like that, but it was gonna fuck me up. It was a fuck-me-up monster. Nonetheless, it ran out from under that light completely, and I could see it was taller than the stop sign next to it, running with its long-ass arms swinging. Each step looked like he cleared about 10 feet of ground. Now, God bless America, as Joey would say. I was fucking gone. I was outie like a bullet. I turned around and I guarantee you I beat any speed record set by man. Any Carl Lewis or Ben Johnson or Robert the Bruce ever set. I was running so fucking fast, I remember my toes were just straight up skipping off the cement. They were barely touching the ground. My first thought was to run up on people's doors and start banging. Then I thought, no, I'll be dead. What are they gonna do for me? By the time they come to the door, I'll be fucking dead. Before I knew it, I had run around the corner, up my block, and my dog wasn't nowhere to be found. I didn't care about my life at that point. My dog meant more to me than anything else, and I was willing to die for him. I stopped running, turned around, and frantically yelled, "Lady!" A half second later, she came flying around the corner like she'd seen the monster too. She was running faster and yelping louder than me. With my dog safe, I wanted to live again. I wasn't willing to die anymore. Fuck that. I was back to running at light speed again. I got to my house and laid down behind the couch underneath the window. I was so fucking scared. I was gonna scream for my mom to wake up, but once again, What's my fucking mom gonna do? Shoo the monster away with a broom? I just laid there holding my dog under the window getting ready to die. I didn't want to move out of fear it was outside and it would see me moving in the house and therefore know where I was. I slowly low crawled army style and reached up, knocking the phone off the wall. I called Nate the Mac. Nate, get the fuck over here right now! 5 minutes later, Nate pulled up on my lawn with the sawed-off shotgun he found in the crack house after a police raid. I jumped in his car and told him, go, go, go! He didn't know what the fuck was going on. He thought my phone call was about some fighting shit again. We went to his house, and I stayed awake another 40-something hours in a row after that. No lie, y'all. I told him all about it. I don't know if Nate ever believed me, but he could see by the look in the eyes and the fucking pale in my face without clown paint that I was fucking terrified. The blood was gone from my face and I looked like Michael Jackson. I was just fucking screaming scary. The story here isn't about what I actually saw or what happened to me because 999 people out of 1,000 are not gonna believe me. I can just hear Maxim magazine now. So let me just try and explain what it was I might have saw. My brother Rob had two theories of his own which made the most sense. Number one is this explanation. It was the one that I believe explains what happened. Now, I know what I saw, and I know that it was from the beyond. It was pure magic. Here goes the believer's explanation. Because Michigan is so famous for being old Indian territory, that hill I kept running up might have actually been an ancient Indian burial ground of some kind. So by me running up there every night and screaming the words, ultimate warrior, and meaning it from the heart, I might have unknowingly challenged some kind of warrior spirit. By me doing this night after night after night, perhaps it had finally had enough and came to do battle with me. Once it saw me run like a feeble bitch-ass coward, it realized I was only a weak-ass mortal human and it left me alone. That's the first explanation of what the fuck it probably was. Number two, this is the more logical explanation for you haters out there. I hate this explanation because it's the one everybody chooses to go with, and to me it's the one that's probably the most bullshit. But the people who live near that hill probably got woken up by me yelling that ultimate warrior shit every fucking night. Maybe they got pissed off about it. So maybe some guys decided to get back at me by making a giant monster costume to scare me with. Maybe the people making the costume had great skills and major monster making effects in their basement. So I guess maybe, just maybe, they decided to go ahead and spend $10,000 or $20,000 on the gag and really do it up. Because the monster I saw somehow stood taller than a fucking stop sign and it ran faster than a car to chase me down. Yet, most people would just say it was rather a joke that somebody played on me. Hey, if that's the case, then that was a damn good fucking joke. Damn good, because I still got the poop stains in those drawers wherever they're at. When something like this happens to you, then you realize how much more there is to life than meets the human eye, and how insignificant everything really is. When something from out of this world chases you like that, you realize how much more there is really going on out here. Pretty much every time I'm depressed about something, like a record flopping or something, I think about that. I think about the monster, and I realize how small my problems actually are, and what I'm really gonna have to face when I die. Then the adventure is really on. When you die and cross over to the beyond, that's when shit really gets poppin'.
This next chapter is called The Rude Boy and the Magical Land of Toxic Waste. This chapter is where Jay talks about meeting me. So y'all know this is my favorite chapter. Tell them about it, Jay.
Alright, Rudy. During our late teens, Joey and I used to take the bus downtown whenever a wrestling show came around. We'd hang out behind Joe Louis and Cobo arenas and get autographs from the wrestlers, and usually ninja our way in the back door. We never paid for a ticket, not once that I can recall. Between the WWF and WCW shows every 2 weeks, we'd be downtown a lot. That was the shit. We met every wrestler. I used to have this green folder with a green marker, and in that folder I had every fucking wrestler's autograph. Everybody except for two, Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. Because Hogan and Andre used to pull their limo right into the arena. Those are the only two ninjas who I never got their autograph, and it sucks because I would have loved to have met Andre. I would have fucking loved to have shake his big fucking catcher's mitt hand, but I never got my chance. Damn. Besides us, there was always this other kid out there getting autographs too. His name was Rudy, but he...
When you think you come on, bro, ring away. You walk back to the corner like you just seen the sun.
Nice round, good round. I like it. I'm happy. Good man.
Stop him in his tracks. I need you to go back out there.
He's too tired.
Here comes round 7. It has been all one-way traffic. How do they turn this around?
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on him. That's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
Beautiful counter shot. Nice straight. He threw a punch and just got countered. He blocks that jab. Defense is not an option for these two. Generally speaking, you don't watch heavyweights to see a boxing match. You want to see a fist fight.
Todd, you know what? Sometimes when I've gone in the ring with fights like that and you punch them, you just want to run. You want that spaceship to come and lift you out of there because you think, what the hell am I going to do now?
Halfway through the round and it's pretty much even Steven.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. She's like a match made in heaven.
Big shots from both of these fighters. Got to be careful though. You'd like to see more jabs. Swing and a miss with that hook. Nice counter shot. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. He is down big time on the score.
Wow. Get your mind back on it.
And we enter the 8th round. That corner has got to find a way to get some momentum behind their fighter.
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. They hit like heavyweights, but they move like middleweights. Truly elite level stuff here.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you continue?
How about that will to win and refusal to stay down as this fight continues?
The corner need to think nice and sharp. They know their fight. They know what their fight is capable of doing and what their fight can and cannot take. This is going to be a tough decision to make.
Halfway through the round, and I think we all know who's winning here.
Perfect game plan. The thing is, can anybody figure out what to do to change this? It's a perfect start.
Missing with the hook. That counter punch caught him clean. Down goes Fury.
Is he out? Is he going to move? Is there a twitch?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give me your glove.
Final 10 seconds here, unless something major happens. I think. Hold that thought! And Tyson Fury just got clipped. The big fella might be in big. No surprise as we get a unanimous decision there.
This is the last thing we expected. What a fight, what a style, what a pace to get a unanimous decision. That is mad. This